place like the Cube.
Coming across your airwaves, dance with me. It's an intersection all day. And it's gonna bring you the weekly.
Family, is the news overwhelming? Is it just too much? Well, I get you, and I got you.
Yeah.
Family, happy Black History Month. This year marks the 100th celebration of Black History Month, and here at Queer News, we'll be celebrating by highlighting an important queer historical figure in the Black community every single week. So make sure you stay tuned, because at the end of the day, it is a great day to be young, gifted, and Black. This is your favorite queer radio personality, Anna Deshawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment. This is your number one stop for queer news done right, only on E3 Radio.
Whiteness, money, respectability, citizenship, gender conformity, even being the acceptable kind of queer person have always been sold as shields.
Yes.
They are not shields. They are only temporary cover. And history shows us again and again that that cover always runs out. Hopelessness is a tactic used to dismantle movements. And what we refuse around this room, we refuse to surrender our joy. Otherwise, y'all won't be here. Even while we do the hard things, we hold each other.
The voice you just heard was Shannon Lynn Parker, the new CEO of Equality Illinois. She is the first Black woman of trans experience to lead this organization, and what a moment it was to be there for her first gala speech as CEO. For this moment. Equality Illinois is our LGBTQ civil rights organization, and honestly, equalities exist all over the country. Over 1,400 people in attendance, all gathered to be in community and raise money to protect LGBTQ rights in Illinois. Mayor Brandon Johnson, as well as Governor J.B. Pritzker were in attendance, along with over 200 politicians who did their annual promenade. Okay, I've never seen anything like it in all my days, and it is still such a moment every single time. And I expressed this feeling to many that night, and I'm going to share it with you here. We needed this moment. We needed a moment away from political chaos, a moment of joy and hugs and laughter and community. I needed it. We needed it, okay? Well done, Equality Illinois. Well done. QCrew was good. I'd like to thank you for your continued commitment to helping to sustain this podcast. I want to say thank you to the folks who have donated to the Help Anna Get to the Ambies campaign, okay? You all have donated $330 to the cause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And your monthly contributions, they go to support our editor, Ryan, who I quite literally wouldn't want to do this podcast without. So if you listen to this episode and you enjoy it, you make it to the end, and you're like, I really like that, think about joining the QCrew, okay? Because if you believe in the work we do, and you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, and you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, come on, join the QCrew. It starts as low as $5 a month, and a link is in the show notes. Oh, and family, don't forget, we've got a tip line, okay? A queer news tip line. Send me your voicemails. I want to amplify your organizations, your businesses, a new song that dropped. Send me your voicemail. I'll play it right here on the show like an ad. I love hearing them. Come on. Info is in the show notes. Now for the news. In top news, our story is all about Don Lemon and fellow journalist Georgia Fort being arrested while covering the protests in Minneapolis. In politics, we dive into the 12 states suing the HHS and USA Hockey's secret ban of trans athletes. In culture and entertainment, we take a look at the safest travel destinations for the LGBTQ plus community and the queers who won big at the Grammys, okay? Let's get into it. Family, our top story this week was not hard to identify at all. Black gay journalist Don Lemon was arrested on Friday for covering a protest at a Minnesota church. I also want to uplift journalist Georgia Fort, activist and organizer Tarangine Cruz, and entrepreneur and political candidate Jamil Lundy, all of whom were arrested. The pastor of City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota, David Easterwood, was alleged to be working with ICE as their acting field director in Minnesota. So organizers decided to interrupt a Sunday service to bring the issue to light. Don was one of those journalists present at the church. The DOJ charged the journalist with conspiracy against the rights of religious freedom at a place of worship and injuring, intimidating, and interfering with the exercise of the right of religious freedom at a place of worship. Don talked on his show, The Don Lemon Show, about how the DOJ has been observing him publicly since the middle of January. And if you're a student of history, you know political surveillance is really nothing new. As there's really nothing new under the sun. Lemon was later released with a court date of February 9th in Minneapolis. Lemon had this to say.
I have spent my entire career covering the news. I will not stop now. In fact, there is no more important time than right now, this very moment, for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Again, I will not stop now. I will not stop ever. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced. I look forward to my day in court.
We can't wait for that day either, okay, Don? Everybody's gonna be watching February 9th. Everybody. Now, that same day, journalist Georgia Fort was also arrested in relation to covering the Minneapolis protests. She was arrested at her home in front of her children. Shortly before she was taken, she live streamed the DOJ agents at her front door on Facebook. She has also been released from custody. And in her statement, something that stood out to me was she asked, "Do we still have a constitution?" And I think this is really a question to bear for those who reside in Congress and in the Senate. Because right now, it feels like Trump and his administration can roll over the Constitution without any consequence. And of course, members of the press have been up in arms about this, targeting journalists in Minneapolis for covering a protest. This is what we do. We are protected by the First Amendment, right? We do have a Constitution, right? Chief of Advocacy at Freedom of the Press, Seth Stern, told CNN, "These arrests under bogus legal theories for obviously constitutionally protected reporting are clear warning shots aimed at other journalists. The unmistakable message is that journalists must tread cautiously because the government is looking for any way to target them. The answer to this outrageous attack is not fear or self-censorship. It's an even stronger commitment to journalism, the truth, and the First Amendment. If the Trump administration thinks it can bully journalists into submission, it is wrong." Seth, I couldn't agree with you more. Journalists are some of the most stubborn people I know. We are journalists because we want to ask questions until we get the answers we are looking for, until we find the truth, whether we like it or not. This is just who we are. And let's be clear, there is no doubt journalists have the right to cover protests, but it's also no surprise that this administration is attempting to crack down on them in the face of the violence in Minneapolis. If people can see and witness the truths of the cruelty the DOJ has placed on display, then it is much harder to cover up. Could you imagine if we had smartphones in the 50s and the 60s, in the 20s and the 30s? Can you imagine what we would have seen? And let's remember, family, if you're out there, if you see something, say something, and stay safe, okay? Especially for my family on the ground in Minneapolis. And honestly, stay safe if you're living anywhere near ICE deployment areas. It is not safe. And little known fact, ICE was started in 2002. It hasn't been around that long, and it doesn't need to remain for a second longer. Actually fix the problem, which is the system, which is the process. All of it, fix that, and abolish ICE. In politics, California, Colorado, Delaware, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington have joined together to sue the head of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, over the executive order embedded within Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. Let me tell you more about it, okay? The official complaint raised by these 12 states aims to challenge a novel and ambiguous funding condition adopted by the United States Department of Health and Human Services that makes hundreds of billions of dollars in federal health, education, and research grants to the plaintiff states contingent on their certification that they are, quote, compliant with Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. Now, this also includes the requirements set forth in Presidential Executive Order 14168, titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology Extremism and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government, that went into effect October 1st, 2025. I tell you, this administration is just so exhausting. Now, these grants fund essential programs such as training for medical personnel, cutting-edge research, and the treatment and prevention of diseases. These plaintiff states have long certified their compliance with Title IX, but by refusing to comply with this transphobic executive order, these states have lost millions in funding for vital programming. New York Attorney General Letitia James is leading the lawsuit. Honestly, there's nobody better to take on Trump's administration than the Attorney General, who has won more cases against Trump than anybody else. Okay, because it's not the first time, and I'm sure it will not be her last time. Back in 2024, she was victorious when investigating Trump for fraud in 2019. Other places have succeeded in bringing the HHS to court, like Washington, D.C., who got their $12 million in programming funded reinstated. So here's to these 12 states getting this money back. Here's to continuing to fight this racist, transphobic administration. And here's to us not being tired yet. Did you love heated rivalry? Well, let me tell you. The USA Hockey Organization definitely did not. The organization actually quietly made the move to ban trans athletes from competing in hockey leagues that match their gender identity late last year. And everyone's just hearing about it now. USA Hockey debuted a new participant eligibility policy back in November. Within the policy, restrictions for trans athletes are written boldly, okay? They ain't hiding it. In all programs where participation is restricted by sex, athletes are only permitted to participate in such programs based on their sex assigned at birth, except that a female, as assigned at birth, may not play in programs restricted to females if they have undergone any male hormone therapy. You can't get more transphobic than that. And guess what? They did not stop there. They also made changes to their locker room policies stating, y'all, I'm going to read this, but it's just ridiculous. It really is. I'm going to read it so y'all can hear it, but I just want y'all to know this right here is ridiculous. USA Hockey strongly recommends that any teams that are co-ed and not restricted by sex apply a locker room policy requiring all players to wear certain, quote, minimum attire at all times in the locker room. This means that players should arrive at the rink wearing their base layer. For example, shorts and t-shirt, compression shorts, and shirt or sports bra. And then all players can dress in the same locker room without any player seeing another player in a state of undress. A player not wearing their, quote, base layer can use a restroom to change into the base layer and then enter the locker room with other players. Use of showers, especially when showers are not separate from the locker room, shall be permitted in a manner that respects all players' privacy. Ridiculous. Athletes know in the locker room, people just trying to shower and get dressed. Ain't nobody concerned. Now you making people wear base layers this is just insane. And get this, in some cases, state or local law could apply to restroom or locker room usage, and programs could consult and apply applicable law. Y'all, that last sentence is so concerning because the policy could be interpreted so many different ways. And essentially, the player will have to follow the bathroom laws of whatever state they're playing in, which could be different from the state that they live in. It's exhausting for me to read this, but I want everybody to be very clear that it is far more exhausting for our trans siblings to have to live through this, to have to consider these things as they move throughout the world. It makes me sick, honestly. Now, this policy will go into effect for the 2026 USA hockey season, set to begin on April 1st, thus essentially barring trans athletes from competing on national and Olympic teams. Several have spoken out against this discrimination, including the first out trans hockey player Harrison Brown and the Seattle Women's Hockey League. USA Hockey has not released a public statement regarding the new policy, but if they do, we're going to keep you updated. That's what we do. It's time for a break, family. Let's do it. Let's take a quick break. And when we get back, let's jump into some culture and entertainment, okay? It's much better on that side. It's much better. If you're listening to this, it means we didn't sell this ad space. If you're listening to this, it means running ads on our podcast can actually work. You see what I did there? Do you need some promo? A little amplification? Hit us up at info@e3radio.fm. That's info@e3radio.fm. We have a platform. You should use it.
The Queer Family Podcast.
Hey there, listeners. Do you like to hear real and honest stories? And do you also believe in inclusion and diversity? If so, I have the podcast for you. My name is Jamie, and I'm the host of the Queer Family Podcast, the show all about family, but with gay. I go in depth with weekly guests about how they built their beautiful queer families and how we all show up in a world that wasn't necessarily designed for families that look like ours. The mission is to uplift, highlight, normalize, and celebrate LGBTQIA+ families in all of our beautiful identities, and we do just that week after week. Tune in every Monday to new episodes. Find us wherever you find your pods. Happy listening.
Love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Did you know we had a newsletter? Yes. The Queer News Podcast has a weekly newsletter that comes out every Monday. There's a special newsletter for the QCrew, but there's a free newsletter for absolutely everybody. So if you want to stay in the know about what I got going on, what I got to say unfiltered, and just a list of all the stories covered every single week with time codes, you got to subscribe to the newsletter. A link to subscribe is in the show notes. Family, welcome back to the show. Now, let's get into some culture and entertainment. If you're listening to this and you enjoy to travel and you identify as queer, this is going to be important to you, okay? The blog Mr. B&B's Queer Safety Index has released their 2026 list of the safest cities to visit in the U.S. They describe the index as, quote, an ordered ranking based on a weighted scoring model incorporating multiple data sources, starting with Mr. B&B, most booked destinations. Safety is measured using FBI-reported hate crimes over the last 5 years. Each factor is normalized to a 0 to 1 scale and weighted to produce a final ranking, where highest scores indicate greater LGBTQ plus safety and inclusivity. Now, are y'all ready to hear the top 5 safest cities for LGBTQ folks to visit according to Mr. B&B's? Let's do it. Number 5, San Diego. Coming in at number 4 is Portland, Oregon. Number 3 is San Francisco, California. Number 2 is Seattle, Washington. And family, can you guess the number 1 city? You know it. It is Chicago. Come on. It's Chicago, the Windy City, my city. Of course it is. Described by Mr. B&B blog writers, the Windy City tops this list for safety, but also spoils LGBTQ plus visitors and residents alike with multiple neighborhoods, museums, nightlife, and an outstanding foodie scene. Family, if you've never been to Chicago, I know it's too cold right now. I understand. But come summertime, don't miss it, okay? Because summertime shy is something to experience. Now, to get the full list of safe cities and also to see the scores and the rankings, visit MrBnB.com for all the details. For our next story, billionaire philanthropist and Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, is putting her fortune to good use. And honestly, she's been doing this for a while. But she recently donated, get this, $45 million to the Trevor Project, marking this donation as the biggest one the nonprofit has ever received in the history of the organization. Honestly, family, if someone did the data on donations to LGBTQ organizations, I would bet this $45 million is in the top 3 in amounts. $45 million? Trevor Project CEO James Black wrote in a statement, at a time when many LGBTQ plus young people are facing heightened stigma, political hostility, and mental health challenges, Mackenzie Scott's support sends a powerful message. LGBTQ plus young people matter, and the world is full of people fighting for their safety and well-being. If you don't know, let me tell you, the Trevor Project is the leading suicide prevention and crisis intervention nonprofit organization for LGBTQ plus young people. They provide 24/7 counseling services and resources to LGBTQI plus youth in need. And when you have an administration like Trump cutting these services left and right, cutting the national hotline, we need places like the Trevor Project to exist. In that same statement from CEO James Black, they outlined the next steps for the donation, saying, over the coming months, we will roadmap a strategic and thoughtful investment plan focused on strengthening our core crisis services, improving long-term sustainability, and accelerating our progress toward a world where every LGBTQ plus young person knows they are loved and supported. Thank you, Mackenzie Scott. Thank you. And family, for our last story today, I would be remiss not to shout out the queer artists who won big at the Grammys last night. Let's start with Duran Bernard for Best Progressive R&B Album and Kehlani for Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song. Now, these two are incredibly special because it was the first time either of them have won this honor. Duran has been at this for over 20 years as an independent artist. Child, I remember seeing Duran on YouTube doing his thing, okay? He started from the bottom, now he's here. Okay, literally. And Kehlani, she received her first nomination 10 years ago. It took 10 years to win this Grammy. There is actually footage of them seeing each other backstage at the Grammys, and the joy is everything. You can see it exuding from the screen. Go find the video, okay? Now take a listen to a small portion of Duran's speech.
To all the independent artists out there, and to every butch queen who was made to feel like you were too much, I'm the proof that you needed and the sign you've been waiting for. Be yourself! And speaking of yourself, I want to thank myself because this was some hard work, y'all, 20 plus years. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Now, what you can't hear is at the end of his speech, he fell on the floor in celebration, kicking his feet in the air. It was the best acceptance moment I've seen in a long time. Nothing but pure joy surrounded by loving parents. And come through, butch queens, okay? Be yourself. Now, Kehlani's speech didn't disappoint either, ending by saying, and I quote, "Fuck ICE." And the queers weren't done, y'all. Tyler, the Creator, won for Best Album Cover. Doechii won for Best Music Video. And Billie Eilish won for Song of the Year. And Billie didn't have much to say, but she made sure to remind people that folks cannot be illegal on stolen land. God, I love us. I love us so much. And truly, congratulations to all the winners. Family, you know what time it is. It's time for Anna's Got a Word because Anna's always got a word. And my word today is simply take care of you. Just take care of you. Take breaks when you need them. Take a nap when you need it. Go for a walk when you need it. Just take care of you. Put your face mask on first, okay? It's exhausting out here. We living in a hellscape. This feels like hell. And there are moments of joy, like the Grammys, like Equality Illinois' Gala, like being with family that loves you. There are moments of joy, and it feels like we're living in hell. So do what you have to do to take care of you. Don't skip it. If it's a manicure, do it. If it's getting your hair done, set the appointment. If it's getting your eyebrows right, whatever it is, going shopping, okay? If it's spending time with your niece or your nephew, your sibling, if it's journaling, if it's listening to music, finding a new audiobook, finding a new podcast, child, I can give you all types of options. Just make sure you're taking care of you. Just make sure you are taking care of you. Till next week, family. Peace. If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna Deshawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall. And brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on The Cube. We are Queer News Done Right.